So hi again, I'm very happy to be giving my debut in Aarhus in Denmark, and that's my first time here, and I find the orchestra absolutely amazing. I think we got a very good contact during the first rehearsal on Monday, and I'm really looking forward to conducting my debut concert with them here. So my relationship with Frédéric Chopin, because that's how we pronounce his name in Poland, is very, very deep, because I am a pianist myself, and his works were the first music pieces that I got to know when I was very young. So I have known his music for my whole life, and I have always had a very strong feelings towards him and his music. So for me, conducting his piano concerti is always a great pleasure, especially when you have such a good and understanding partner like Gustav. And what concerns Bacewicz, I suppose she's not that famous here. She was a very, very good and famous violinist in Poland, and probably the most famous woman composer of the whole 20th century in Poland. Overture for orchestra that we perform is not that famous. Even in Poland, it's not as much performed as her Divertimento or Concerto for strings. And yes, it's important for me as someone who comes from Poland, from a country that has a very rich musical tradition, and we have had a lot of great composers, but I think that Chopin lies at the bottom of that, and he was like the beginning of the big music that was happening and that was being created in Poland at that time. So I'm super happy to be playing his second piano concerto together with Gustav.
My name is Gustav Piekut, and I'm a Danish pianist here in Aarhus this week, working on Chopin's second piano concerto. Sorry about the pronunciation. I know it's maybe not right, but
perfect.
It's deeply ingrained in me. And yeah, this is a fantastic piano and orchestra work with so many colors and pianistic fireworks and beautiful melodies. So something I've been looking forward to for a long time. I think, first of all, Chopin in general is special for all pianists because he single-handedly revolutionized what you can do at the piano. He reinvented the piano technique completely, the sort of freedom in melodies and in the metric feeling of the music. And then he has this distinct Polish national melodies using the classic dances like the mazurki, and which is also in this concerto. And all pianists love Chopin and also fear Chopin, I think, at least for me. It's like this because his music is incredibly difficult, and it should sound very light and beautiful. And it's very much the case in this concerto. He was only 20 years old when he wrote it, and it was really a showcase for him to present himself to the public. And there's just so much youthful beauty in this piece, which is lighter and sort of more unproblematic than his later works that are very philosophical and deep. This is just a young man in love that also loves to play the piano, you can feel.
Well, for me, playing with a soloist of any kind, of any specialization, is about having a good conversation, and I think that we did have a very good one.
It actually felt pretty easy in the first rehearsal, and yeah, I felt very listened to, which is all you can really ask for in collaborating with orchestras. So yeah.
I, as a conductor, need to make sure that the orchestra is absolutely fully prepared from the first rehearsal, so that when the soloist comes one day before the concert, it just goes, and we can't have any hesitations and any kind of dispute, even musical. I couldn't agree more with what Gustav said. I'm also very happy and I feel so comfortable conducting with him playing the piano, because I don't think that it always needs to be explained. Sometimes it just happens, and I think that's our case, because we can't even be or stay in touch all the time during the music, because each of us has a lot of things to follow. He has a lot of notes to play, I have a lot of musicians to take care of, also him, of course. And sometimes we don't even have to look at each other. Sometimes it's enough to listen, or to have this tiny little look or a smile that says, okay, so far so good, let's go on and we'll see. And I feel super stable with Gustav at the piano. This concerto is not easy. I personally believe it's a little bit harder than the first Chopin concerto. It has so many grace notes and so many places that give a lot of freedom to a pianist in terms of rendition. So then it can create conflict, but as Gustav said, we have none here. First rehearsal with between a conductor and an orchestra and the soloist is very exciting, because we usually meet before, we discuss some little things, some little details to a very limited extent, but then the moment comes that the rehearsal has to start, and I think it always happens that at least 50% of what we agreed on stop existing. Because this is live music, we are not machines or robots, so the accelerando or the rubato or the ritardando, it will always be different. So that's where the magic starts, when we really have to speak to each other. And yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, because you can plan everything. Of course, here we will take time, here we will go faster, but the real fantastic magic happens in the concert, where perhaps I can do something or you can do something that we never talked about.
Yes.
But we know
I always do it during concerts, so you can wait for that.
Great, me too.
Okay.
It's exciting. Yeah. But this is how it should be, because it's really about not just playing against the orchestra, but really together with the orchestra.
Yeah, like being more creative. And also I've noticed that when there is a very good communication between a conductor and a soloist, the orchestra kind of automatically starts to care and starts to pay a lot of attention, because we have to all play as one big group, as a one big ensemble. But if they see that we are communicating flawlessly and that the cooperation is absolutely impeccable, then the orchestra has no other way, but they just have to follow us. And they also do it so naturally.
It's a good feeling.
It's so important to try to figure out the process without really thinking of it. So we all have to have fun, and it shouldn't be, a painful process, because then it's really hard to think about the music and the main idea which is behind it. Yeah.